Hello, everybody. We'll be going live here in just a minute. We are getting all set up and we'll be sharing our virtual networking with you as a member of the Amplify Your Success community. Now, if you are joining us live, then of course we want you to be on the Zoom call with us. That gives you a chance to get in the spotlight. And we'll be welcoming our group on in just a few minutes. But if you are going to be tuning in from the group today, or you're tuning in later, I still want you to make some great connections today. So just stay tuned in to all of the opportunities to meet someone new, create a new partnership, maybe even find someone who you need to hire. We have so many amazing people in this group. So we'll go live here in just a couple minutes. And in the meantime, we will look forward to hearing your shares as we go along. Hello there, Melanie here. We're just getting started and getting ready to get set up on our live virtual networking. I see we've got some people already dialing in. Hey, Barbara. Hey, Deb. We'll get going here in just a couple minutes. And hi, Ann. My intention is that today we're going to create a really nice experience to meet some new people, to learn a little bit about other members here in the group. And really, the intention of virtual networking this month, at least, because we've hosted these in the past, has been to make new connections. But wow, what a time in our life right now, right? I mean, many of us have been isolated for weeks and months. And I know many people are kind of cut off from a lot of the socialization they're used to. And I certainly know I thrive when I get to connect with other people. So let's fix that today. Okay, so let me turn on the recording and we'll get going here in just a minute. I want to welcome you all to our Amplify Your Success community and virtual networking today. I am the host of this community, Melanie Benson, and I also am a amplifier, profit amplifier, success amplifier, results amplifier. I like to amplify things. And I'm really excited to get to know some of our newer members a little bit better. I'm excited to showcase some people who are clients here in the community in the Amplify Mastermind, or some of the people that have just gone through our brand new Get Magnetic Messaging. So here's how today's going to work. Hello, all of our attendees. I'm so excited to see you there. And as we go through this process today, I'm going to bring you up one at a time, and you'll have a chance to answer some of the questions I'm about ready to share. And you're also going to get a chance to talk a little bit about what you do. Now, this always expands and contracts based on how many people we have here. And I want to give everybody ample time to really be seen. But I also want to make sure everybody has room to get showcased. And hopefully our wonderful Lisa is going to be on here in a second. Lisa Benavides is our client care manager here in the community, and she's having a little trouble getting on Zoom, so hopefully she'll be here shortly. So here's the kind of the flow for today. First of all, if you want to invite any of your friends, you are more than welcome to. We just ask that you invite them to come into our Amplify Your Success community, and then they can follow along today. I shall pop that in the chat box for you. If you have a question come up as we go along, you can put it in the chat. But if you have a specific question you want to make sure that I answer for you, then please put it in the Q&A. That helps me track if I actually got back and answered it for you. And if you know you want to go first today, what I would love it is go ahead and raise your hand or put in the chat, pick me. We are going to ask our mastermind members to come first, and then we will open it up to everyone else. So here's what we're going to put out there for you. I want you, no matter if you're listening in or if you're in the spotlight today, stay for the whole time and think about, as you're hearing each person, like use active listening. We're going to be talking a lot about the power of creating your own economy over the next few weeks, because I know that a lot of people are feeling the impact of what's happened with COVID, what's happened with a lot of the unrest in our American states, at least. Rightly so, but it's felt very derailing for a lot of people. There's a lot of people who are feeling that impact on their cash flow and their ability to move their business online. This has been, the number one request for new members has been, how do I take what I do out there in the world and bring it online right now? Well, guess what? That's my specialty. I've been working online for 20 years. So you are in the right place. But I want you to be listening in to the people who come on today. Is this someone that I could partner up with? That is one of the factors, one of the pillars of creating your own economy, is really being someone who actively partners up and cross promotes and cross supports people. Could I refer them business? Or is this someone or something I could personally use? That's how we want to actively listen to really make the most of this time together. And I've always loved hearing the great stories of these people who make connections. I saw it happening in the last round of Get Magnetic Messaging. You never know, sometimes you invest in a program, but then you end up getting clients out of it. So that's really helpful too. So here's the questions. You're going to get 3 to 4 minutes for each person. We'll go a little shorter if we get a deluge of people jumping on. But I want you to say in one sentence, okay, one sentence, not 20 sentences, one sentence, your name, where you live, and the name of your business. The second sentence is, what is the biggest problem you solve for people? One sentence. Okay. This is because we just have time constraints. So we got to really honor the space we're creating for each other. And you can give a URL to one thing, not 20 things, one thing. And here's a little secret. If you give people lots of choices, oftentimes they make none, right? So that a confused mind doesn't buy. So let's really practice the art of guiding people towards one thing. And once people get to know you, if you have other things that you can direct them to, that always works. And then here's the power question, the amplify question for today. And I really, I will kind of help you navigate through this one. But if you've got a visibility tip, something you've done or something you've learned through my programs lately, if that's more helpful, and you think others might gain a benefit from learning it, share it today. Like, one of the things I know it's really up for people is, how can I get seen? How can I get in front of opportunities, right? Sometimes we feel like we're chasing them, but how do I get out in front of them? And so if you've done something that's worked lately, or you've learned something that's working lately, share it, okay? Just keep it a short tip. I can't wait to get things going here. This is so exciting. So we're going to start bringing on our first guest, and I will post those questions here. Oh, here's Lisa. So I am going to bring Lisa up here as a panelist. So Lisa, I'm not sure if you're coming on with me or you're going to stay there, but that's either way. Lisa, do you want to say hi to everybody and give everybody just your 411 on the questions I just covered?
Sure. And I'm sorry, my computer is not cooperating, so I'm on my phone today, but
oh, well, I'm so glad
life, right?
So glad you're resourceful and you could adapt. That's the name of the game these days. So I'm putting the questions in the chat right now for everybody. And if I could spell quickly. But Lisa, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and tell them what your role here is with the community.
Yes, so I'm Lisa Benavides. I am in the Los Angeles area, SoCal, so I'm not quite in LA, but that's my area. And I'm the Director of Client Success for Team Melanie. So I help our community and our clients especially to just stay accountable, feel supported and loved, and to actually do the things that they want to do, that they say they want to do in order to amplify their businesses, by just supporting Melanie so that she can be in her genius in coaching and leading the tribe. And then I just come in and kind of give some mama type love to all of our people.
I love that about what you do. And I'm so grateful Lisa's joined our team. She's been such a rock star as we've brought her into each of the new programs. And those of you that went through Get Magnetic Messaging know how much of an asset she's been. So thanks for being here. Lisa, do you want to kick us off with one quick visibility tip that you think everybody get value out of?
Sure. So for sure, it's about being resourceful. So don't feel like you need to make excuses if you don't have great lighting, a great camera, or a fancy background. I think showing up is the most valuable thing you can do. And what I love about more visibility in an easier way is to give bite-sized tips. So you don't have to show up and feel like you have to give long 1 hour videos or shows or anything like that. But how can you show up once a week? Pick a day and show up once a week to give one tip in your specialty that will help somebody take action immediately.
Love that. Thanks. I'll give my tip a little bit once we get in, but let's bring on Deb Coleman. So Deb is a member of the Amplify Your Success, the Amplify Mastermind. Which program is she in? She's in all of them. And she has been such a valued part of our community for quite some time. Just went through Get Magnetic Messaging. Deb, I will turn this over to you. I will time you just to kind of help you stay on track, but run through the questions for us.
Sounds good. Thanks so much for having me here. Hi, everybody. I'm Deb Coleman of debcoleman.com. I'm coming to you from Syracuse, New York, in central New York. I am a content conversion strategist, and I help service-based business owners. Well, actually, I teach them how to crack the content conversion code to attract and convert more of their ideal clients. And one of the things that we do is tap into the power of their messaging and their content so we can eliminate things like the one-trick pony syndrome and replace it with proven strategies that work to help them bring more of their ideal clients into their world with ease. And I do that by looking with them at their current content plan and practices to uncover 3 of the most common and costly mistakes and replace them with the things that work. And you can grab a hold of that 3 costly content mistakes if you'd like to look at your own content to get started with that at debcoleman.com/gift. And one of the things that I do as far as reaching my own clients, which is a visibility tip for all of you, is not going to be a shocker. I'd be remiss if I didn't say to use your content to do that. It's really the way to show up with value. And one of the ways that I share my content by speaking it on podcasts. So that's another great way to increase your own visibility. And if you know any podcasts that I should be reaching out to, let me know. I'm always looking to get my message out to more people who need support.
Yay, I'm so glad to hear you say that. So can we just create this connection for a minute between what you just put out there and Get Magnetic Messaging? You know,
Sure.
Deb, I just have to really acknowledge you, like you really nailed that. And so Deb's been working through the process of Get Magnetic Messaging. She was always amazing, always was really, enticing and intriguing in her messaging, but I feel like you just like ramped it up 10 times, maybe even 50 times. So well done. Was there anything in particular that going through Get Magnetic Messaging really brought more confidence or clarity in how you've been messaging to get on podcasts?
Yes, absolutely. So I have been speaking for a number of years. I have been podcasts. I have been actually making one of Melanie's 17 mistakes that she shares in her free gift of really kind of winging it, because I can get pretty comfortable. I can talk about content till the cows come home, but it wasn't always converting as well. I wasn't really getting a lot of new leads that way as much as I knew I should be. And Get Magnetic Messaging just helped me really capture the components of my talk and how to position it, as well as myself, to really make it more compelling and help people see themselves in the problem that they needed support around, and make it fun, make it interesting, make it just, you know, blah as to what you can do with your content, but really how to bring people in to that conversation so that they would want to learn more, that they'd want to uncover if they're doing those 3 costly mistakes. So it's really was so instrumental for me to kind of break apart the components I had, but not really in probably the right order or amped up enough, you know, to really make a difference. So I loved it, and I just so enjoyed trusting the process. You know, week by week, we built on what we did the week before.
Excellent. Thanks so much for being here. Thanks for sharing a little bit about your experience there. And we're going to move on to another one of our Amplify Mastermind members, Joyce Buford. And then after that, I'm just going to start going through. So everybody make sure you're ready to go on camera and you're in the right place. Let's see. I'll bring Joyce up. And Deb, did you get a chance to share your, hi, Sasha, I see you. We will bring you up as well in a minute. Did you get a chance to put your URL or where you want to guide people in the chat? And
I'll do that.
Yeah, and if you, as you leave us, you can certainly say what your URL is, and then we'll bring Joyce up.
Sure. My where you can get the 3 costly content mistakes is at debcoleman.com/gift, and it will help you find those, you know, problem areas in your own content and help you get more of your ideal client.
Great.
Thanks so much, Melanie.
Thank you. Thanks for being here. Okay. Well, I know on my end here, we're having a little bit of a, we're having like a little weird glitching on the internet. So I don't know if you guys are picking up on that, but we'll do our best. Apparently this is power usage time on Spectrum. So Joyce, are you able to come on today and share you with our community? And if you're not, I'll go ahead and bring up the next person. And if you're having trouble with your video, Zoom has made a whole bunch of changes lately. And if you have not yet actually updated your Zoom, you may be having some tech issues that way. But if you can't bring your video on, you know, we'll work around it. So hi, Joyce. Joyce is another one of our Amplify Mastermind members. Joyce, let's take you off mute. There you go. Joyce is, there we go. We're unmuted now. So why don't you introduce yourself following on the prompts?
Oh dear.
Did you miss the prompts?
I missed the prompts. I missed everything.
Okay, well, it's in the chat. So everybody, your next step is to go look at the prompts. So in one sentence, Joyce, what is your name? Where do you live? And what's the biggest problem you solve for your clients?
My name is Joyce Buford, and I live in Tyler, Texas. That's East Texas, 90 miles from Dallas. And my problem is that I help women recreate who they are after they've gone through a major transition in their life, really putting it back together, getting them started again, and really finding value in who they are.
And you're host of?
I'm host of Second Wind with Joyce Buford. I've had a podcast for 7 years.
Wow.
Oh my. So yes, I'd love to have guests. I'm always looking for guests for any of the members.
Good. Well, if you guys are looking to get on podcasts and align with that area of focus, make sure you reach out to Joyce. So Joyce, why don't you share one URL where people can find out more about you? And then if you've got a visibility tip, something that's worked for you or something that you learned recently and that you could share with us.
Oh, my URL is Joyce Buford Empowers, or .com, which is my website. And then my other URL is Second Wind with Joyce Buford at gmail.com.
Great. So do you have a visibility tip that you'd like to share? It could even be something that you've learned lately that maybe through Get Magnite messaging or Mastermind, or actually you're just coming into Mastermind, so we haven't even got to that yet.
Yes. One visibility tip I must get used to is checking into this website more often than I have. I'm sorry, I was totally lost today. So my visibility tip is really that, just
Be
connect
seen.
me. Yes. So
Great.
thank you. I'm sorry I was late. So
No, that's okay, Joyce. We're glad you're here, and stick around. You might see some guests popping up. So, Sasha, we're going to bring you up next. And Joyce, thanks so much for being here today. And stay tuned in and look for some people who might be great guests, or see if
right.
there's anybody that pops up that might be a good collaboration.
Yes. Yeah, I will.
All right. Sasha, why don't you, there you are. Why don't you unmute yourself? Hi. And after that, we will bring up Anne.
Okay, so my name is Sasha Sabbath. Hi, Lisa. What a beautiful smile. My name is Sasha Sabbath, and the problem that, hey, hi, Anne. And the problem that I solve is helping people accelerate their goal success by using their spiritual power of intuition and energy manifestation or energy broadcast. So that's, I would say that the problem that I solve is speeding up goal and accomplishment manifestations.
Nice. And if you were going to point people towards one thing, what would that be and where could they find it?
Right now, it would be my Light Leader group. I'm going to put that link here. The name of the group is Light Leader Power for Success and Mission Impact. And why I'm going to lead people there is because I do weekly Facebook Lives. And in the unit sections, I have tons of material on developing your psychic intuitive abilities and using energy to heal yourself, heal what's going on in the world right now, our precious country, and also just self-empowerment.
Lovely. So, Sasha, you know, I think one of the things that's so great about being in a group, whether it's a mastermind or in circles like this, you know, sometimes you learn that one thing or you hear that one thing that just makes everything click. You know, you learn that one visibility tip. Do you have one you'd like to share with our community today?
Did you say you're looking for I heard you are looking for a visibility tip, right?
Yeah, something you're doing to be visible to opportunity that might just be that thing that someone else would benefit from.
Honestly, my tip is a belief. May I share that?
Quickly, yes.
Yeah.
What would that look like?
The belief is we're needed. The right people will find us. It's our job to help them find us.
Yeah, I like that. Certainly stacks up. Like if you believe it first, then it's so much easier to take the action. So thanks so much for being here with us today. And I'm glad you put the Facebook link there. I also want to remind Joyce, make sure you pop in, Joyce, and put your link up there to one of your URLs or where you'd like people to find you. And Sasha, really appreciate seeing you today and keep up the great work.
Thank you, Melanie. You too. You too.
You're welcome. So we'll bring Anne up and then we're going to bring up Mr. Robert McPhee. So we will bring Sasha back. Anne, you are up. And while we're waiting for Anne, I want to just encourage everybody to go ahead and get on video. You won't pop in until I bring you, get your audio up so that when I bring you on, you're all ready. And I'm going to share one of my tips. And while we're waiting for Anne to come on, hi, Anne. So one of my visibility tips, and Deb tapped into this a little bit earlier, but I'm going to take it to another level, is I really do believe that being a guest on podcasts is one of the great visibility opportunities we have right now. And I know many of us do host podcasts, like Lisa hosts a podcast, I host a podcast. I know several people do, Joyce does, Robert does. But one thing that a lot of people don't understand is what to do to turn that podcast episode into a 24/7 sales machine, literally like a client attraction magnet that's always working for you. So here's my visibility tip is when you have somebody feature you on a podcast, you must share it at least once on your own social media, but don't just share it once. Put it into rotation on your social media, especially if you're active on Twitter. What happens is about the 5th to 7th time you share it, it starts to gain traction and really grow in its reach. And you are now turning client leads and prospects who are just kind of hanging out in your social media realm into interested and intrigued and then invested leads, because they're getting to know you better through these third-party endorsements. So this is my tip for you today. When you get featured on podcasts, share them actively, share them over and over again, especially the really good ones and the high profile ones, and turn it into a lead magnet for you. You literally have no idea how powerful that is to keep sharing them over and over. So, Anne, let's bring you into the conversation. So nice to see you today.
Nice
Welcome.
to see you, Melanie. Nice to see you, Melanie.
It's been a while.
Yeah, it has been a while, and you're talking about visibility tips. That I'll go in. I think I'll share. We met as a great visibility tip. But anyway, I'm Ann Rusnak, and I live in Cleveland, Ohio. And no, that is not Cleveland behind me. That's actually my dream home behind me here. But I'm a money empowerment specialist for womenpreneurs. And basically, what I do is I found that my clients, they kind of hesitate putting their offer out there. And so I confidently let them know that just by being themselves, they'll be able to attract the right clients for their for that offer that they want to buy. And visibility, it was basically one of the things how you met Melanie. She was doing something on her blog and was having people go on and post on her blog. And that is how we met. I think I actually won something for doing that. So it's kind of like, I think maybe we get so caught up in the social media that let's not forget the blogs and the other things that are out there as well that we could be using to make ourselves, visible. So that's a little tip I want to share there. So go comment on people's blogs. It's a great way to get noticed.
Thanks, Anne. Did you share your URL where people can find you?
Okay, yeah, I have a free gift. It's called 5 Signs Perfectionism May Be Blocking Your Money, which means why you're not putting your offer out there. It's at Ann Rusnak, that's RUSNAK, freegift.com.
Love it. Thank you. And I love that visibility tip. And what Anne is referring to means we have been connected for at least 15 years because it was my clean sweep challenge that was like back in 2004, 2005, something like that. And really what I heard you just say, and I think it's really important to remember, I'm so glad you brought it up, is the power of engagement. So connections is only as good as the level that someone is engaging with you. And honestly, it's a big part of why we do these virtual networking events, because we can all lay dormant in this group for a long time, but like the visibility really heightens when we come together like this. So, Anne, thanks so much for being here. I'm so glad to see you. And it sounds like you and Joyce may have some synergy and some good connection there, because she's looking for podcast guests.
I'm going, I'm going to have to connect up with Joyce.
Good. She's awesome.
Right in my line of thought there.
Yes. So. Robert, I'm going to go ahead and bring you up. And as we say goodbye to Anne, thank you so much for being here, Anne, and look forward to hearing the good stuff that comes out of today. Robert, our featured Amplify Your Success podcast guest this week. Woot, woot. Robert in the house.
Am I really on this week?
Yes, it's this
week.
I
didn't know that. That's
so
funny because
I saw any minute.
That's so funny because I saw your invitation and I looked at my calendar and it was open. I thought I got to hang with Melanie. That's so cool.
Look at this. So now all of our community's getting a double dose of Robert today. So Robert, I will turn that over to you and let you introduce yourself.
Awesome. Well, yeah, I'm kind of surprised because I didn't know I was going to be like on stage. I thought I was going to be just listening in and learning. I've been taking notes over here. And I want to shout out to Joyce because I know Joyce from years and years ago, and we haven't seen each other in years, but that was too funny to see her pop up on video. I'm Robert McPhee. I'm in Sonoma, California. I have a coaching and consulting company called Excellent Decisions. I like to think that the problem that I solve is unhappiness and unfulfilled lives. And I help people do that by making more excellent decisions based on vision, values, and value rather than stress and pressure. And God, you guys took all my visibility tips. I was going to start with get a podcast, be on podcast. Already
The
been taken.
popular one.
And then what you said about promoting on social media was a total game changer for me when I started actually promoting my own podcast on social media. So I have to scratch that one off. So I'm going to go.
No,
with-
wait, I was talking about being a guest. So why don't you share your tip about what you do with your own podcast episode?
Oh, so yeah. So my podcast, I record them on Zoom, just like we are now. And, but the podcast itself is audio. But what I started doing was taking a short clip from each podcast episode and just 2 to 3 minutes and posting it on social media, and which I'll now do multiple times based on what Melanie said. And using that as a way to promote outside of just my own list and existing subscribers to the podcast. And it made a huge difference. The little bit of extra time it takes to pull that video clip out and then post it on social media makes all the difference in the world in terms of new people becoming aware of the podcast.
Absolutely. And Deb saying such a great repurposing strategy. One of her specialty areas. I'm a huge fan of repurposing because I find that it takes people multiple contacts sometimes to be in the right mindset, to be in the right place, to actually connect with the information you're putting out. So if we can keep getting that podcast episode, you never know at what point the right person sees it and goes, oh my God, I've been waiting for this. I actually did an interesting survey, Robert, that would probably be very intriguing to you. I sat around the table with my Amplify Mastermind at retreat. I think it was the last one I think it was the last one. And I asked each of them, how did they get to the point where they knew they wanted to be in the mastermind? And where did they first connect with me? And every single one of them came back and said the podcast at some point had been the thing that they were listening to, that they went, oh my God, it's time. So
Yeah.
having your own podcast can be really valuable to keep those connections with potential clients warmed up and nurtured till they go, yep, it's time.
Yep. I say podcasts are the new book. It used to be when you told
Mhm.
people you wrote a book, they go, oh my God, that's so amazing. You wrote a book. Tell me about it. And now if you tell people you wrote a book, they just kind of go, oh yeah, you and everybody else, they all wrote books. But if you tell people you host a podcast, especially, we've had a couple people on who have been doing this for years and years. They're like, wow, you have a podcast? Oh my God, that's so amazing. Tell me more about that. So it's a great visibility strategy.
And for those of you with a podcast, I hope you will, for those of you that are looking for podcast guests, it'd be a better way to say it, listen into this week's episode of Amplify Your Success podcast, where Robert and I talk about his excellent decision process. It's really awesome. And he will demonstrate how to be a great guest when he comes on your show. And I hope that'll lead to some more bookings for you, Robert. Thanks so much for being here. And I can't
Cool.
wait to
I'm so
hear
glad I
all
did.
these. I'm going to ask you guys to share some of your great takeaways at the end. So I'm glad to hear you taking notes, Robert.
Always.
All right.
Good to see you guys.
Nice to see you. Barbara and Gracia, we are bringing you up. And welcome to Francina, to Linda, to Meryl. Wow, it's really exciting to see everybody coming on. I'm looking forward to getting the rest of you up here in a minute. But we've got Barbara in the house.
Thank you.
Barbara, nice to see you. Barbara's a recent graduate of Get Magnetic Messaging. She was one of our rising stars, really just smashed it and putting all that into action. So Barbara, why don't you introduce yourself?
Well, thanks so much for inviting me. I'm Barbara Ingracia, and I live in the central Massachusetts area, East Coast, so it's a different time. My company is Manage Copyright, the C in a circle kind of copyright. So I help people increase their visibility and their authority by posting. Well, now you say, well, that's not so revolutionary. Well, today, people can sometimes be afraid to post, to put themselves out there because they're afraid of their content being stolen. And so I teach methods, little measures that can be put in place before you go public to guard your gold mine, because your online content is your gold mine. And in fact, as you're guarding your gold mine, you can all often be growing your gold mine. So I have a motto, guard your gold mine. And my tool of choice is copyright law. So, you know, the C in the circle, what measures you can put into place to minimize the risk of that theft at a very reasonable, easy and inexpensive way. So my free gift today to you is my guide, 5 Steps to Guard Your Gold Mine. And I shall put that in the chat. So visibility is about being out there. And I need to be taking my own advice too. So I have connected with Melanie and Lisa, have been great help, have connected with Deb Coleman. I work with Sasha Sabbath, so that there are so many wonderful folks and wonderful connections that have come out of this. So thank you.
Good. You're so welcome. I'm so glad you're here today. We get to showcase you, and you really nailed that message. And I know I was like, oh, yes, that's right. We all need this. So keep up the great work. Keep coming back and keep showcasing yourself and your visibility. All right. So I will bring up the rest of you in just a couple minutes. But Lisa, I just wanted to check in with you. Have you picked up a highlight or been seeing a theme here that our members are really noticing for visibility is working right now?
Yeah, I actually should have talked about repurposing too, because that's one of my favorite things. And if I can share another tool that I recently started testing is Smarter Queue. And it can be an amazing thing once you get it set up to help you be everywhere all the time, over and over with such little effort. And if you're creating content regularly, I mean, this will just help boost it even more. I always want people to focus on just one platform to start with, only because it can get really overwhelming and messy when you're trying to be all the things all the time. But I think this tool would actually help you just kind of show up everywhere with the same amount of effort. So it's Smarter Queue. I can share that in the chat as well. But
I love that. Yeah.
Cool things. Do you use that, Melanie?
We will be now.
Let's talk. I really like it. I'm just
talking.
testing it, but yeah,
Okay.
It's good stuff.
Good. Thanks for another great tip. And I see some of you are saying, hey, can I get a hold of you? Can I get a hold of you? So scroll back up in the chat. I know Joyce posted her contact information in there. And I love you guys are reaching out and connecting with each other. And in the Facebook thread, I don't know that our Zoom chat is actually carrying over. So make sure you go back in the Facebook chat. That's the one downside of being in Zoom, and put your links there too. Okay. So we get you double exposure that way. All right. So thank you, Sasha. And let's bring up, I believe Meryl is next. So Meryl, I can't wait to see your face. It's been a while since we've bumped into each other last. And then after Meryl, we will be bringing up Linda Thompson and then Francina. Hopefully I said that right. Hi, Meryl. You're looking lovely. Oh, you're still on mute, darling.
Hi, Melanie. Hello, Lisa. My name is Meryl Petreccia, and my website is merylpetreccia.com, and I am a high performance joy coach and solution specialist. And the problem that I solve is I help people that have either been taken off track by something big in their life, or people that are just fed up being unhappy. And I help people walk their journey to joy, walk their journey back to joy. And that is what I'm doing with my practice and my trainings. And let's see. And actually, I am doing a relaunch of my book, GPS to Joy, which is free, of course. And Melanie was quoted in my book, as it happens. And for anybody that would like to join, my book is called GPS to Joy: Navigate Life's Turbulence and Toughest Transitions to Find Your New Direction. So if anybody is in that situation, or knows anybody, please join the book launch. And anybody who does join from the group, it would be my honor to send a free book, signed free book.
Oh,
as a
that's very
gift.
generous of you. And it's such a beautiful book. I always felt very honored that you put my quote in there. So thank you. I'm so glad you're getting it back out there. And did your ears perk up as you were listening to Joyce having her podcast, Joyce
It
Buford?
did.
Okay,
Yes, it did.
good. You two could
Absolutely. Yes.
make some connection there.
Thank
Did you
you.
have one visibility tip that you'd like to share?
Yeah, my tip was to really reach out to people. So as I'm inviting people to this, to the book launch or the relaunch, I've been reaching out on Facebook, Instagram, but just friends texting, and it's remarkable to just be connected that way with people at a visceral, at a personal level.
Yeah.
Right. So that's what I've been doing. And there's been a purpose now, which is to share what's happening for them, and then asking them if they're interested in details about the book. And it's been lovely because everyone's been a yes. And I would say that the sub tip to that is, rather than here's what I'm doing, everybody, buy my stuff, it's more like, what are you doing? And here's what I'm doing, and excited, would love to share. Are you interested? And everybody's a yes. It's so gentle and lovely to have that experience.
I love
Just
that.
selling, just sharing.
Thanks for sharing that. Sometimes we forget the basics, don't we? So Linda, I'm going to bring you up next. And Meryl, I'm so glad to hear you getting the book back out. And I want to remind you, Meryl, as well as everybody else, if you've got something going on, almost every Tuesday, we have the Promote Yourself threads that you can come in and put your link in the thread and let people know. Sometimes we do something special with social media, but put it on your calendar, because the more of you that come in and share, the more active, you can come on, Linda, the more active those threads are, the more value everybody gets. So we'd love to, create some places that everybody can be sharing your awesome resources. So Meryl, thanks so much. Look forward to hearing more from you, and keep up the great work.
Thank you.
And if you have not yet put your link, I know some of you have done it a couple times. Let's just let the new people who are sharing put your link, and Meryl, you could put your book in there. And that way you guys can follow up with each other. Make sure you transfer that over to Facebook. So we'll hear from a couple more people, and I've got one more visibility tip I will share with everybody as we wrap up. Linda, so nice
Hi
to
there.
see you.
Hi, Melody. Thank you so much for letting me have this opportunity today.
I'm glad you're here.
Yes, I'm Linda Thompson. I live in Goldsboro, North Carolina, and I am an author, speaker, and a health and life coach. And what I do, I help empower single moms and individuals to reinvent themselves by removing barriers and challenges that may be hindering them from having that positive lifestyle that they want. And I also, my URL is www.lindathompson.org. And one of the things that I'm utilizing more is Facebook, or doing a watch party, even if it's only for like 10 or 5 or 10 minutes, and that's new for me, the technology piece. I'm learning that. So, and I'm proud of myself for at least doing it, try to do once or twice a week for 5 or 10 minutes just for the exposure.
I'm so excited to hear you say that. And it really is the consistency and just getting yourself out there that works. So Linda, did you connect with Joyce and her podcast idea at all?
Which one?
Joyce Buford, Second Wind. You guys might connect with each other, see if there's some synergy there, because I know a lot of times single moms are really trying to find that second wind in life, and there could be some great synergy there. Love to help you get more exposure on your topic, because I grew up with a single mom, and my sister was a single mom, and I know how hard they work to make their life come together. So thank you for doing this work in the world.
Yes, thank you. And I just retired from being a public health social worker after 27 years.
Oh,
so
wow.
That is just me. I just love helping single moms.
Well, let us know how else we can help you, okay? Keep up the great work.
Thank you.
All right, I'm going to just do a spin through. And Lisa, I know we have one more person I know about. Oh, wait, did she leave? wait, I think we lost her. Did I miss anybody? Um, while we're checking on that, if I missed anybody, please put your hand up and say, pick me. I got skipped. We'll make sure we circle back on you. A couple other tips. And also, before we wrap up, I would like to know, like, what are you struggling with? Linda, make sure you pop your contact information or your link in the chat here. We've got some people looking for it. What are you struggling with? Where are you feeling challenged? Is there something that you're looking for that you need? Feel free to pop it in the chat, or you can come back and put it in the Facebook thread later. Definitely we'll make sure that we support you any way we can. And sometimes it's just being pointed towards the right resource, the right tool, the right connection. We'll do that as much as possible. One of my final tips for you, and it's great that Linda brought this up because that's exactly where I was going to go, is video. So we all know we should be on social media, but what we don't realize is sometimes the static posts are not as well, like they're not getting the algorithm traffic that the videos do. So find ways to create video. A minimum of 3 minutes is the new kind of guideline. Like you got to get up there at least 3 minutes. And I know a lot of people are uncomfortable with doing video. Figure out ways to pull content apart and share it in video. You can take, like Robert was saying, a podcast episode. I've been actually taking really popular podcast episodes or posts and then creating a video on it. So find something. Canva now has these great resources where you can take regular just images and add a little animation that gives you a little lift. So find some things that will help. Sasha's saying she needs a great technical VA who can teach me how to use YouTube, Canva, Zoom. Great. Let's also post that in the Facebook group because there may be some technical VAs in our community that can help out with that. All right. So let's just do a quick check-in. What was a great takeaway? Did you make a connection today? Did you find something out that will help you? Did you learn a visibility tip or have something reinforced? Let me know if you want to come on screen to share it, or we can just read them out for you. Multiple social media posts, repurposing, Linda's saying. Sure, Deb wants to come on, so let's bring Deb up. Lisa, I'll ask you in a minute too, just so I don't throw you off guard. Deb, what was your great takeaway? Keep them coming in the chat, and if anybody else wants to pop up, we'll bring you up.
You know me, I never say no, and here's why. A lot of times Melanie offers these and I think, oh, I didn't have it on my calendar, I have so much else. It's always a great to just get yourself to take advantage of opportunities to share your message. If you're truly service-based, you want to help more people. You want them to know how you can help them deal with their challenges. So I as usual, my takeaway is that it's always fun to do it, and it always feels like you're doing the right thing to give yourself visibility and to reach more people out there. So thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And so Deb just really hit the nail on the head. And thanks for coming up, Deb.
Just say yes. You know, a lot of times opportunities are inconveniently timed. It's really the truth. Success is rarely convenient. That might be a huge aha moment. Write it down. I have found that the most inconvenient things oftentimes have the greatest momentum that come with them. And so, yes, you need to evaluate, are they really aligned for you? But really check that part of you that says no and resists and doesn't step in. Maybe there's fear that's as big a part of it as, you know, this little voice that says, I'm not ready. I don't have my hair done today, or I have too much on my plate. So Deb, I'm so glad you brought that up. Linda, I just want to mention, I think having a podcast for you would be brilliant, and or doing podcast guesting. Reach out because you want to make sure you have the right strategy before you jump in. Because I see a lot of people hitting burnout and they don't get the traction they're hoping for because they don't really have the strategy in place to get their podcast or to get their podcast guesting the momentum it needs. So let's see if we can support you in getting those pieces together so you hit the ground running. Yes, I agree. Guest first. So, and a resource for those of you that don't know, if you're new to podcast guesting, or you are still trying to get all the pieces, or you've been doing things that are not working, you're not maybe getting the traction you hope for, I would highly recommend getting in on the next round of Get Magnetic Messaging to really put all the pieces together and create that system to help you not just get people interested, but get them invested in results. So, Meryl, what was your takeaway today?
Be you. I mean, I really saw people when they were themselves that I could connect more
Yeah.
than if it felt like they were contriving the message. So be you. And really, I could see just never give up. Just keep, I could see just keep going, keep trying, keep learning. Like there is no right way. There's so much that it's like, it doesn't matter. Like it just doesn't matter. Just get strategic, just do it. And don't worry about all of the world of it all. Just it's like play at it, have fun and play. So that was the underpinnings of what I heard in all of this.
Great. I love it. Thanks for being here. Any other great takeaways anybody wants to share before we wrap up today? How do I capture this information? Lisa, can we grab that and throw it on the chat in the Facebook group maybe?
Yeah, I think so. I think also the recording will pull it and I can kind of clean it up a little bit so we can share it.
Great. Perfect. So this recording is in the Amplify Your Success Facebook group, and we will see if we can pull the chat and drop it in. But I do want to really encourage you all to slide over to the Amplify Your Success community in Facebook and make sure you put your link in this thread and let people know how they can find you. Okay. And we will be sharing this out to the greater social media world to get you some extra exposure, just to really help with that visibility piece today. So thanks you all for being here. We might just do another one again in the future. We'll see how it goes. We want to keep the momentum going, but we also want to make sure people are getting a lot of value out of it. So there's always great opportunity when you get visible, right? Lisa, any last thoughts on great takeaways from today?
Yeah, I loved the conversation around getting back to some basics. And just a reminder, like, back in the day when we didn't have social media or not as much social media, our businesses, we took outside, we took to networking meetings and, luncheons and things like that. And think about when you would go to something like that, or if you do that now, even, how do you act with other people? You don't walk up and just kind of blurt out everything that you do, but you're really just human and you're really getting to know people. And I think there's so much powerful connection and collaboration opportunities when you just open up, like Meryl said, you're just being yourself. And there's even more magical connections that happen that way. And it helps you to take off that pressure of, am I going to get a client? Is he going to work with me? It's more of just, hey, like, we're human, we're here, let's chat. So keep it basic and be human is a huge takeaway that I got from today.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you. And now is the best time to be organic. Social media is great. Online experiences are great. But about 90% of my early revenue came from picking up the phone and calling people and saying, hey, what's going on in your life? Keep those connections nurtured. Okay. Don't take it personally if people aren't reaching out to you. Remember that the magic happens when you nurture the relationships you want to bring to fruition. So Lisa, thanks for being here today. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll look forward to more amazing connections being built in the Amplify Your Success community. Bye, everybody.